All right, folks, let's get airborne, analyze your trade, and debrief. Very interesting holiday shortened week. Have a lot to talk about, a lot going on in the market. I know we have some folks visiting us. One of our Hubert Centers, one of our strategic partners, sent out an email to invite some new folks to come by and check us out. So welcome aboard. Today we're going to talk about the bear trap that we're currently in with the S&P 500 just kind of wallowing around this 50-day moving average. And we're going to talk about, hey, whether or not we really think this is the big one. Hopefully everybody got their hedge on if you're so inclined for your portfolio with our SDS trade. And it really, the acronym that we're using in 2019, FIROC, is really, every one of these issues is on the forefront right now. Obviously, the Fed is right at the forefront, and we had a good jobs. We'll talk about Larry Kudlow kind of leaking some numbers here, saying, "Hey, January is going to have some really blistering jobs numbers." Whoops. Well, that's good, but now that's bad, right? Well, good job numbers mean the economy is doing well and humming along. Well, that's bad if the Fed in the 90 press conferences the guy's been doing says he's going to be data dependent. Well, guess what he's going to do with good data? He's going to raise rates. So that's not good. Turns out that Jamie Dimon and then what's his name, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, have met secretly, ain't secret anymore, with what's her name, Maxine Waters, a Democrat, new Democratic leader of the House Financial Services Committee. Power of the subpoena, baby. And that's not going to be good for Wall Street. Iran, we're getting ready to, 2019 is going to be the year of Iran. Donald Trump, as soon as he puts North Korea to bed, he's going to pivot to Iran. Those dudes ain't going to be negotiating like the guy who wants to live in North Korea. Recession, starting to see really some mixed macroeconomic data. We'll take a look at some services and PMI data today that weren't good. So good jobs report, bad kind of services PMI, and mixed earnings. Ain't sounding super bullish here, right? Oil hasn't been in the headlines for that long, but guess what? Like I said, Iran's going to rear its ugly head here soon, and then obviously China. The administration really sounds like the gang that can't shoot straight. Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, was being interviewed before the market opened and said, "Hey, we're not even close with China on trade." And then Larry Kudlow, about 15 minutes ago, kind of walked that back. So we're going to talk about all these issues. And this was awesome. So one of the reasons EWZ had a nice, one of our positions here is EWZ. We're long the Brazilian ETF, which is EWZ. Did anybody just watch the power lunch or halftime show, whatever it is? Pete Najarian, what do you say? Massive, unusual options activity in the EWZ out to April. He said he's in it. He's a huge buyer and believes in EWZ. We have we're going to review our urgent alert trade from last week, the bull put spread on EWZ that expires tomorrow. That's looking pretty tight. But this was great. So obviously President Trump didn't fly over to Davos after smacking Nancy Pelosi down for her little junket. Obviously probably wouldn't look too good if he's gallivanting over to the beautiful people over in Davos. And obviously Secretary Mnuchin didn't go. Nobody went. No U.S. delegation, obviously, with the government shut down. So in Trump's absence, who grabbed the spotlight? There he is, Bolsonaro, man. In Trump's absence, Brazil's new president steals the spotlight in Davos. Great speech, man. And he sounded Trumpish, right? So they're really branding this guy as the Trump of the tropics, and the Bovespa, the Brazilian stock market, is really behaving kind of like our 2017, which would be awesome. Bolsonaro cast himself as a swamp drainer, opposed to the inefficiency and corruption that rotted Brazil. We're in a deep ethical and moral and economic crisis. This guy really wants to drain the swamp, so to speak, down south. Really good speech, really good pop out of EWZ yesterday. And our Brazil trades are looking phenomenal. As I said, the futures slid this morning after Wilbur Ross. I call him Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo kind of sat there and said, "Hey, man, we are miles apart on trade." What happened last week, folks? Right here, we had this rip your face off rally on what? I'm aiming jabbers. I just saw, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, we might have a deal. China's going to offer this. And what Mnuchin say? No comment. So last week, rip your face off rally as I'm on an airplane up to Pittsburgh. I'm like, that's physically impossible, folks. Do you know how complex a trade deal is? And Trump said it a million times that he wants a comprehensive, not, tit for tat or a little bit of deal here. He wants one big massive deal. Excuse me. So not looking too good for the United States. Larry Kudlow has to come up out and clean up behind this dude. And from some of the stuff I've been reading, it says this guy might be on his way out too as a Commerce Secretary. He's not exactly the most charismatic guy in the room. So we have Lighthizer, we got Ross, we got Peter Navarro, we got Larry Kudlow, we got the Treasury Secretary, and Donald Trump. I don't know who the single point of accountability is for this clown car, man. It seems like one dude says something at breakfast and the other guy's contradicting him at the afternoon. It's weird. A lot of weird stuff going on. I don't know if we're trying to posture or position or whatever. We just don't. It doesn't look good. I haven't talked about the ECB in a while, but Mario Draghi stood pat, didn't raise rates. They got done with their QE, their quantitative easing, back in December. So remember Mario Draghi, 2012, 13? The dude literally said, quote, "I will do whatever it takes to save the euro." I don't think that dude's probably going to use that language again, but more or less we called it the Draghi put. This guy said, I'm going to print money out of the back of my Peugeot to prop up European markets, and it at least worked for now. But remember, folks, what happened when our our Fed chief kind of said, "Hey, it's time to grow up and raise rates." We went bananas. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Europe. It feels like Europe's about a year behind us in market speak. With the ECB, the ECB is eventually going to have to raise rates, and we'll see how they handle it. China. Look at this. 2015, 2016, they were cracking down on short selling, margin, this, that, and everything. You couldn't trade directly in China. China counters sell off by cutting market some slack. Beijing moves towards a freer market as economic growth slows and trade tensions simmer. So they're allowed. They want to get more foreign capital in there and revive their anemic stock market. And like I said, this contrasts with what 15, 16 when a crash led to what greater distrust. They really got involved in capitalism. So this is interesting. A week ago the PBOC's jumping in to save capitalism, and now they're trying to not do that. Another example of I don't think they know what they're doing. So it's hot, it's cold, it's hot. The FXI is up a little bit today on this report. Up a little bit. So, but again, this is it kind of looks like the U.S. here. We're both in uncharted territories, and we both got our heavies walking around going, I don't know what's going on. What do you want to do? So interesting read there in the journal. So we're kind of mixed. As we, get into the heart of earnings season, look like some of the semis did really good. I think all eyes are going to be on tech, folks, to be honest with you. I think the tech is going to be a big deal, right? This is, it feels like last earnings period where everybody said, oh, financials were great. Okay, the market didn't do anything. Well, retail will save us. Retail was great. Nothing happened. Tech will save us. Tech was great. Did nothing. It was always, let's look to the next event. Last earnings, and now it's starting to feel like that. Okay, well, these are kind of mixed. Well, maybe tomorrow somebody will knock it out of the park. That's just so there ain't no conviction in this rally, folks. And we are, like I said yesterday, we are on the precipice of if we break this 50-day with any sort of airspeed, we're heading lower here. Here's a comical story while I'm banging on tech. Facebook slides after a report claims 50% of its users are fake. This is what? So this is, ultimately, this is just the latest sign that Facebook, formerly one of the world's most successful companies, is doomed to go to the way of CompuServe and AOL. Guys, we talked about my Facebook disaster puts. This is why you get some of these on, right? This is why you put on disaster puts, is because it sounds like there might be. I haven't seen Tim Cook. I haven't seen Sheryl Sandberg. Maybe they're hanging out with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I just don't. This is crazy. 50% of their users are fake. I think it's the stock's flat right now, but we have very, very good bear call spreads on with Facebook here. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fake clicks, advertisers. Look at this. Look at this. This is literally a Chinese click farm. So, is this anybody want to jump in and buy based on this report? I mean, I just don't. I don't see the case for Facebook. I get Instagram; they're throttling back WhatsApp, especially in India. It's been used to kill people and cause riots and spread fake news. So that ain't good. So we have two bear call spreads that are looking very, very nice, and very happy with those Facebook trades. This thing's going lower. When are earnings next? Next Tuesday or something like that, the 30th. Okay. But I grab your popcorn, man, and just wait. I can't remember the last time the dude that Zuck has been MIA and also COO. I just don't know where they are. So, Danny, yep, we bought some February disaster puts. Okay, Kudlow. Kudlow leaks January payroll, says jobs report will be up a significant amount. This is why sometimes I say it's bizarro market. So the market should be like, hey man, January payrolls are going to be huge. Nice job, Larry. You're not supposed to leak that stuff. But anyway, if jobs are cooking along and the economy's cooking along, what's going to happen? The Fed's going to go, we probably need to raise interest rates. So this is, again, it's a mixed bag. And then, he kind of threw the furloughed workers in there and all that type of stuff. So, but he wasn't supposed to say what he said. Anyway, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon and CEO David Solomon from Goldman Sachs had a private meeting or private meetings with top Wall Street critic Maxine Waters. Oh, does the plot thicken, folks? The eye in FIROC impeachment. These Nancy Pelosi ain't gonna be able to rein in what's her name, AOC, Occasional Cortex, the Muslim lady from Michigan. We're going to impeach the MFer and crazy Maxine Waters. This is going to be a 2-year shit show. Markets don't like shit shows, volatility, uncertainty. They don't like impeachments. They don't like gridlock. So not too bullish. These guys trying to sneak behind closed doors and suck up to Maxine Waters. So going to be very, very interesting. She gave a fiery speech the other day saying, hey, Wall Street, we're coming for you. That ain't bullish. So, all right. Talked about Facebook. Opinion Trump Pelosi war intensifies, foreshadowing 2 years of chaos. The president once again trolled Nancy and said, hey, and it said her in a letter yesterday, it said, hey, I took care of all your security concerns about the State of the Union. I'll see you next week. So you really smoked her out as being a complete liar. She said, hey, we can't do the State of the Union because of security issues. He's like, got it, fixed it. The issue that you brought up is fixed. I'll see you there. And she's like, you're not invited. This is where we are, folks. I was literally driving down from Boca to Fort Lauderdale yesterday afternoon in the car, and I'm hearing about civil war and essentially in Venezuela, and it sounds like that here. Sounds like we have two presidents. It sounds exactly like Venezuela. One's the Speaker of the House and one's the duly elected dude, even if you don't like him. So, well, exactly. Whoever said that, there's the elections and here's the market. So, Barack Hussein Obama. Elections have consequences. Yeah, they do. All right, so that's our strategic and operational brief. Now let's start to get tactical. Let's look at a couple existing positions, and we'll also take a look at potential new ones. CP Wiz, there was a guy on CNBC this morning says this is exactly what Russia hoped for. Hey, folks, Vladimir Putin has got to be thrilled. What was it, like 200 grand in Facebook ads? You're telling me has caused this much havoc? I mean, this is exactly what Russia wants. We are destroying ourselves, and the guy's just sitting there with a smile on his face, like, damn, we are we're literally giving the rope to the you know what is it? We will hang the last capitalist with the rope that he sold us. I mean, this is Russia's dream. It's also China's dream too. Just instability in the United States and not good, man. We it's bad. It's really bad. So yeah, CP. I don't know, man. It's. I don't, naked pics of Trump. Who knows? I mean, it's funny. Uh, During Trump's last visit to Russia when he was a CEO, Putin, he's like, I don't mean to offend President Trump, but he's like, all you people saying, he's like, we had like 250 to 300 CEOs at that one conference. He's like, I don't have the resources to, and he's like, to be honest with you all, Trump just wasn't that big of a deal, and nobody even thought. He more or less admitted, or he might be full of shit, of course, but he's like, we weren't monitoring Donald Trump. He's like, there were bigger people in Russia at that conference that we cared about. It was so funny. He's like, no offense, but the dude just wasn't that all important. Real quick, since this is kind of our weekly debrief and how goes it, last Friday, sitting up in the hotel up there in Pittsburgh when we were getting dumped on, I sent out a bull put spread on EWZ. We looked at selling 160 of tomorrow's 42.5 puts and one of the reasons the commit criteria was what? I said, hey man, the dude's going to Davos. I think he's going to hit it out of the park and give a good speech, and it's going to rally. What happened? Exactly that. So the 42.5, 42 at about 13 cents. Here was the risk. The risk was about $5,900 to potentially make $2,100. So let's see where this trade is right now. How many of you got into this one? EWZ tomorrow 42.5. Get rid of Facebook, this dog. Glad those forays are working out. Just being bare. This has got to be like a 2 cents or something. 42.5, 42. Yeah, we're at 3 cents. I'd close this. 160. What's that? 10. So the trade's up $1,600. I mean, $1,600. Well, let's do the math. $1,600. Where is our percentage calculator? There you go. 16, and then what was the max potential profit? 2080 or something. So right now this trade is at 77%. So I would look to close this one for tomorrow. Oh, okay, couldn't get filled. Some people, I'd say about half the people that responded say they got filled, and the other half didn't. We're going to do another one of these. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Let's take a look at what's going on, and now it's down to 2 cents. So try and get out of this at 2 cents, and that would be what, 1780. That's about $1,800 profit since last Friday. So let's keep the hits coming here with Brazil, and it really, even with an overall U.S. market slowdown, even if we do kind of give this relief rally back and head back to so here's this, here's the inauguration pop, big, and it hasn't even given a head fake back to half that pop. This is awesome. Make sure everybody should, and I know we have new people in here, and I kind of welcome you, but I just, whenever we have visitors in here, I run it just like a regular live trade brief. But we have an existing January 21 position in EWZ. We are long-term bullish on Brazil all the way out in the future, man. We hopped in our time machine and went all the way out to Jan 21. So this is awesome that we have this one on, because it's printing money, and now we're doing some good work in the front months as well with some front month spreads. So let's take a look, like I said, at the chart. This thing, there's the gap move. Let me put my glasses on real quick. I like that 41.5 looks to maybe 42, 41.5 out. And let's let her leash out a little bit here. Let's go. maybe the same trade, 42.5, 42. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, same trade, man. 14 cents. Let's do this. All right, 160 contracts, 160 contracts. All right, new trade on EWZ. Like I said, I would get out of the existing one for now it's an 80% profit in under a week. So close that and let's throw on a new one. I like the momentum. I've given you my strategic mindset, my commit criteria, and here's the trade. I'd look to sell 160. Why 160? Give me 2 minutes. The Feb 8 42.5 puts. It's right where this, past 2-3 weeks of support is. And we're going to buy as a hedge in case I'm wrong. Dude flies home, falls on his face, and fails, in the next 2 weeks. I just don't see that happening. But in case it happens, we're buying downside puts, right? So I am bullish on EWZ. I'm using puts, and this is a spread. This tactic is called a bull put spread. Okay. And if you're relatively new to options, don't worry about it. We're getting ready to do our full throttle training in about 2 weeks, 8 brand new sessions. We usually do them Tuesday and Tuesday, Thursday nights from 7 to 9 or 8:30 or however long we go. So I'll teach you all this stuff. This is also called a credit spread. We are bringing in a credit of 14 cents. We're getting paid. So bringing in about 22.40 right now. I would try and get filled on this trade plus or minus about 2 cents. So I'd maybe think about going up to 16, and the lowest I'd go is 12. Remember, if it goes outside of this range, folks, it's either the risk to reward just it's either really high or too low. Does that make sense? So, Dennis, yeah, I mean, that is a risk, the assassination attempt, but, he got stabbed when he was on the campaign trail. I think he's actually wearing a colostomy bag, but obviously his, whatever they call them, Secret Service dudes are a hell of a lot more attuned. But yeah, that is definitely a risk. I think that's maybe past a little bit, to be honest with you. The dude's in there and it seems like he's doing some good work. Okay. Now let's take a look at the metrics of this trade. I'm going to click on analyze, and you're going to get to see where you're supposed to look first all the time, right there. Max potential loss. We're always going to take a look first at what we're risking as an options trader before we ever take a look at what we can potentially make. That is not the way to trade. Hey, how much can I make? I don't care about how much you can make. What is your max potential loss? So here at Top Gun Options, based on $100,000 model portfolios, my SOP, my standard operating procedure says I probably shouldn't risk, or I don't want to risk more than 5% or about $5,000 on any one trade. That's based on $100,000. Have a smaller portfolio, do less contracts. Have a larger portfolio, do whatever. I can't give you investment advice, but that's what see that risk right there? You see that $5,800? That's based on 160 contracts. Don't want to risk that much? Don't do that many contracts. Want to risk more than that? Do more than that. You scale your contracts as appropriate. Right? So now once you say, Wiz, I signed for the jet, man. I'm pilot in command in my portfolio. I'm okay with that risk. I ain't going to be thrilled if that happens, obviously. But now I can lift my eyes up to here and go, all right, I'm risking 58 to potentially make 24. And using at-the-money volatility as I speak in EWZ options, there's a 65% probability of at least making that max profit. Down here, there's the break even all the way down there at 42.36. That's below recent support. So this is a cool try. I love credit spreads. I love this bull put spread. Why? Because we make money 3 ways. You see that blue line? That is EWZ's current stock price. So EWZ can do what? It can go up. That's what we want. It can hang out where it is, kind of on this nice high that it's hanging on. Or it can even go down a little bit as long as it stays above what? Right there, that break even of 42.36. So 3 out of 4 times this trade makes money. EWZ goes up, hangs out, or even goes down a little bit, but stays above the break even. Let me make sure I took a screenshot of this because I want to put it in a replay for our members. And then I need to send out a text alert. Man, I know you guys are going to be furious at me, but it's cold down here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm wanking about how cold it is. Unseasonably cold down here. I'm sure you folks don't want to hear that. So, all right, let me get this out via text so we can, so everybody can get this. All right, give me 2 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves, discuss, and I'll be back in 2 minutes as I mumble through sending out this text alert. It's 21 in Bozeman. Matthew's up in Vermont. He said it's 40 and rainy. They're having a little bit of a warm. So Matthew, don't get lulled into that. It ain't February in Vermont yet. Tamara's a toasty 8 degrees. 78 in Lauderdale. Very nice. That's what we want to hear. All right, here we go. Let me blast this out. And we're going to talk about our SDS trade, and especially for folks who aren't in that. 70 in San Jose. David, that is a little cold. 82 in Maui. John just got back from his annual Top Gun trip. Freezing in Calgary. I don't doubt it. That's awesome, John. John takes his annual Top Gun profit vacation. All right, where are we? Analyze your trade and debrief. Send SMS and email. That's us right here. Let me paste this in. Analyze your trade. New EWZ bull put spread. So, folks, if you're not a member, you're not going to get this because we don't have your cell phone number. But this is what we do. I send out a text alert in the middle of the webinar, plus or minus 2 cents. I'd maybe eject and get out of this trade at double the credit that I take in, maybe about 28%. And I don't put it in the text, but remember 7, 8, 9. If I'm seeing a 70, 80, or 90% gain in this trade at any time, I'm going to close it. So I give you an eject point when they get out of it, and I give you a profit target when I would get out of it for a nice profit. Okay, let's get rid of that. 160 contracts. Feb 8 expiry. Okay, I'd sell the 42.5 puts, and then I'd buy the 42 puts at a 14-cent credit. Again, guys, we migrated servers and all sorts of stuff, so hopefully any little website issues, we're cleaning up. We're doing the Lord's work here, man, getting this website tight. I don't like stuff. 39 in Northern Nevada. What would be the long-dated trade for EWZ, Sandra? If you become a member, you're going to have access to what the current Jan 21 long-dated trade is. Absolutely. We have synthetic stock on EWZ out to January of 21. So, new EWZ bull put spread. So this is awesome. If you can't attend one of our live trade briefs, what do? I send a text alert, and then I send an email. Let's delete that picture. We will put in a new one. So I send out a screenshot of the trade. Send out a screenshot, EWZ. So not only do you get a text alert if you're not, well, even if you are here, you get a text alert, but you get an email at the same time with a screenshot of the trade. Image, just drop that down here. Whoa. There it is. Browse EWZ. So yeah, you fully, and then I don't know, it takes about 30 minutes after the coaching session after the session's complete to render the video. So let me do this. Let's go back one more. I'm going to hit publish. Publish. And it is ready. I'm going to hit campaigns. Logo, contacts, and what are we in? Analyze your trade and debrief. Save search. Analyze your trade and debrief. Give me, I'm almost done here, man. Actions, apply, remove tag. Analyze your trade and debrief. Save, process. All right, there goes the text, there goes the email. Jay, you can do that. It's a good, I prefer 50-cent wide spreads. Sometimes if folks are at a crappy broker who is charging them out the yin yang for commission, sometimes I'll do dollar wide. But on the EWZ, I would not do a $5 wide spread. Just that's not even. They have dollar wide strikes. $5 way too much risk in that. But no, good question. All right, let's get back. First of all, we have like 2 bear call spreads on SDS on Facebook expiring that are looking phenomenal. Facebook was down a hell of a lot lower. Now it's just kind of wallowing around here. But hold on to the Facebook bear call spreads. Those things are the gift to keep on giving. CME having a nice little run and then came back and is looking perfect for our iron condor. So now you know why I put the bear call spread right here. So we have an iron condor going down CME that's looking to make about $3,300. This thing is freaking phenomenal. There you go. Graham got his text down in Australia. Graham down under. Yep, got mine sitting right there. So perfect. Okay. So hold the Facebooks, hold the CME Iron Condor. Things looking great. Close out either one of close out the bear call or the bull put spread. If it's 7, 8, 9, we got a new MGM synthetic stock trade that we put on this week, and also a bull put spread. Nice looking bull put spread on MGM. All the positions are doing really well, but let's talk about SDS here. So maybe silence that. So SDS earlier in the week, in the primary live trade brief. So this will kind of be a free trade for folks that are just visiting here. In Tuesday's primary live trade brief, we took a look at a Tredge, right? It's a trade that can also serve as a hedge. So we looked at a bull put spread on SDS. This is the ProShares ultra short S&P 500, meaning as the S&P rallies, rip your face off rallies, this thing implodes. Right? Here's your recent rip your face off rally. There's the December implosion, right? So we put on what I call a Tredge. It's a trade, it's a bull put spread, and it also is going to serve as a hedge in case the market gives some of this back. I briefed you earlier this week on we haven't seen this much cash flowing out of the markets and onto the sidelines since the financial crisis of 2009. And every time the SDS has hit this 50-day moving average in the past 3 months, we've seen a big pullback. Now, this Jerome Powell relief rally is getting long in the tooth. So how many of you got filled on this one on Tuesday? How many of you are Tredged? Okay, Frank, Jay, Kevin. Mike didn't get it. David couldn't get it. No, Phil still trying. Ed, Greg. Okay, so this is a yes. If you're, let's take a look at what it currently is. We looked at 150 of the Feb 8. I wanted to go through the State of the Union clown car and just the clown car. Here's what the metrics were on Tuesday. Risking $49.50 to potentially make $2,600. Look at that. 70% probability this trade is going to make some money. That's the options market telling me that they ain't too confident that this rally is going to continue. And come on, man. I mean, this is. I'll tell you once again, I talk to a lot of institutional money. This is a FOMO rally. This is a fear of missing out, but this ain't institutional. It's mainly, us, so to speak. It's mom and pop and little old lady in tennis shoes. And most smart money, I briefed you on the Nomura report that says, hey, we're heading back, beware 2,600. And if we hit that with airspeed, we're going back to the December lows. There ain't super bullish news out there. We still have a government shutdown with no end in sight. Now, Kevin Hassett, the President's Council of Economic Advisors, said, I think we're going to see 0% GDP growth for Q1 with this clown car. Whoa. that ain't good. So I always try and red team my current strategic mindset. I'm like, where find bullish stuff. And Larry Kudlow said we got a good jobs number. So that there's and relatively mixed earnings, but there are some good earnings out there. But if you look at today, Thursday, uh, you know, unemployment claims, flash manufacturing PMI was a beat, services PMI. So there's mixed macroeconomic data. I briefed you, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. The NAHB, the National Association of Home Builders, man, December new existing home sales imploded. So, ah, I think you need to get a Tredge on. So for the folks that didn't get that on Tuesday, let's take a look at what it's currently at here. The Feb 8, and the 37.5, 37. Let's see what it's at. 37.5, 37. And like I said, this is it's at 17 cents, folks. This is still yes. This is a yes. If you, I would look at this. So let's just take a look at the metrics real quick, and then I'll brief it. Yeah, it's same. We're essentially where we were on Tuesday, guys. So risking about 5 to potentially make 26. So yeah. So let me show this order ticket again. The 37.5, 37 at 17 cents. Yeah, sure. I'll leave it up on the screen for a second here. Well, now the free folks are getting 2 trades today. So this is a trade we covered Tuesday. Again, I call it a Tredge. SDS 124. Going to miss my daughter tomorrow. It's her birthday, and she's up in Washington at her safety patrol thing. So this is a didn't have a good Harry. John, I wouldn't necessarily move it out another week. I like cover, the State of the Union or whatever the hell the president's going to do is happen. It's next week. I think he's going to go out of town and deliver it or whatever. There's just so much. I think there's so much that can go wrong in the next week and a half to 2 weeks. I just don't see the need to go further out. And remember, you get backwardation and contango with these, inverse ETFs and multi afterburner ETFs. So and we're already pushing it down to 16 cents. So this trade's already making a little bit of money if you're getting into it. And this is us. This open interest and volume, that's all us, baby. So yeah, I mean, you could if you wanted to, John. When you look at the calendar here, what else do we have coming up, man? We have not only our Nancy and Donald, playing sixth grader. We have a debt ceiling fight coming up. How do you think that's going to go? God Almighty. I just never thought in the history of this republic that we'd have to be begging our politicians to enforce the law on immigration or to protect us. I think we're seeing cracks on both sides, but how can you be against this, man? So, yeah, and Jay, to be honest with you, Super Bowl. You need a little bit of a tread, God forbid, but as a former military guy, I think like this. The Super Bowl is a national security event. That means it's an NSS, national whatever. It's the Secret Service is in charge of Super Bowl security. God forbid something happens at Super Bowl. There's a lot going on out there, man. And I like to say my trading spidey senses are tingling. Ralph, so remember, I don't ever, if it's VXX or whatever, there are no SDS Jan 21s on. So this isn't a foray. Remember, guys, this is a Tredge. This is a trade that also serves as a hedge. There ain't no long Jan 21. Ralph, look at what happens with SDS over time. Look at the 5-year chart. Remember, guys, based on the rebalancing and the math in these things, these go to zero over time. What was it, last year or 2 years? Remember the VXX? They had to do a reverse 4-for-1 split. And then, so all of these, Ralph, go down over time. There's no very quick answer to your short question. The answer is no. There's no such thing as a Jan 21 on this. This is all front month training. So, Ginny, yeah, too many drones, flying airliners. Yeah, exactly. Was it Newark the other day? Newark International was shut down. A tourist needs to sit on the end of the runway and just fly a couple drones into an intake. It's like a bird strike, man. You think Miracle on the Hudson. So, anyway. Yeah, exactly, Ed. The VXX reverse splits all the time. And well, now that's gone away or is going away. Now it's the VXX Bravo. That's kind of taken its place. Jay, SVIXY lost 90% last February. That's exactly right. So any of these SDS, VXXBs, these are all front month trades. There's no Jan 21 bullish trade on SDS. Does that make sense, Ralph? Yes, I can put it back up. It's the 37 bull put spread out to February 8th. So this is me saying, hey, I think the market's going to give some of this rally back. I believe it. We have tech earnings coming up. I'll repeat this. I haven't seen Mark Zuckerberg or Sheryl Sandberg in like a month. I'm not joking. And maybe, like I said, maybe they're hanging out with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Nobody's seen that lady in a month either. So I don't know. Maybe they're hiding because it's going to be blowout earnings. I mean, that would be weird. But something, I don't know. I feel off about a lot of the tech earnings. I think Amazon's going to absolutely destroy it and print money. But these Twitters, these Facebooks, we predicted this, guys, a year ago. What did I tell you? I said, get out of all of this crap. These things are going to implode. I told you, what was it, Tuesday? I briefed you on the Twitter debacle. Is Twitter the end of our democracy or something like that? And I said, do a bearish double vertical on Twitter. Things down 7% this week. Eesh, beautiful. Did he speak at Davos, Ralph? I didn't see any coverage of that. Carl, if buying a straight call for insurance on SDS, the furthest out I would go, whenever I'm trading these SDSs or VXXs, the furthest leash, the furthest I'll let my leash out is about 3 weeks. Remember, man, if you're, that would be about it, bro. Right around there. So, for a multitude of reasons. Not only does it kind of lose value over time, but if you think something really bad's going to happen or the market's going to implode, but you think it might take a little bit of a longer time, yeah, maybe you go out a week. But this is, I've been stringing us along this week with a little bit of, hey, we're on the precipice, and let's take a look at that. We literally. The humans are involved now. That was algorithmic buying through the 50-day moving average. Now the dudes are involved. People are watching their screens going, who wants to buy? Who's stepping in to buy right here, hanging at stall speed at this 50-day moving average? Okay. Scott, you could look at it that way. How about long-term bearish SDS and very short-term bullish? You absolutely could do that. Yep. If that's your strategic mind, remember, guys, markets go up over time. I want that, right? We got Jan 21s on MGM, Amazon, Raytheon, CME, CSX. We got our Jan, and for all the new folks on there, I'll brief you on all of our current kind of long positions, bullish positions. I mean, we want this, and markets go up over time. 9/11, the financial crisis, the Pets.com implosion in 2000, markets go up. Right? But we can, we can just, Visa. Visa's another one of our positions I haven't talked about in a while. Visa's just absolutely sitting in the background printing money. So I want this to go up, but what I'm saying is that there's not conviction at this 50-day moving average right now. If we, for whatever reason, tomorrow hang here and then maybe we stay up here next week because earnings are good, I'm still going to be hedged and still kind of got one eye open on this thing. But I'll shift my mindset. Right now, I'm neutral to cautiously bearish. I think we head down. So, Graham, you could do that too. You could definitely iron condor SDS. Absolutely. There's the 50-day moving average on SDS right in the middle of this Keltner channel at, the 40 strike. Yeah. If you think that, the market is going to wallow around that 50-day moving average and not make a major move, yeah, I'd I'm not super big on iron condors in here because, as you know, Graham, markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. And iron condors are great until when? They're not, right? Hey, we're range bound. Boom. Hey, we're range bound. Bang. And we're range bound. Boom. So I personally wouldn't put a cap on SDS right now because I do think we're going to roll over. And remember, folks, I call it a Tredge because it's a trade that I think is going to make money. But, the second half of that word is hedge. If the market whiz you wrong, tech earnings were phenomenal and we're heading higher. Great. I'm happy. I'm not super upset that this, Tredge, quote unquote, lost money because technically it did and technically it didn't. All of my other long positions out to Jan 21 are looking freaking great. We want the market to go up, but always got one hand on the ejection seat handle in the F-18, right? So we love ourselves too much to get killed. So, but yeah, all right. So this, the bull put spread, the 37.5, 37 that we covered on Monday is looking good. And if you can get 17 cents, great. Now it looks like mid market is about 16 cents. So, all right. Hey, very happy with what we're doing here at TGO. Got some good looking trades. I am looking forward. We're going to get back on Visa next week. Looking forward to earnings and seeing how that's doing. Just kind of wallowing around here, but Visa, over the longer term is definitely a solid, looking, and we'll eventually get into the cryptos and stuff like that. So. Scurvy, the question for me is how much Jan 21s do I need in value versus what I put in a hedge? It's the lifelong question, Scurvy, and I cover this with my coaching clients when we're talking one-on-one. There's some math involved, but it ain't super math. It's more, you can't be, Scurvy, you can't be 100% hedged, right? It's like having kids. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. All right, wrap them in bubble wrap and lock them in their room. Well, then they're never going to live or experience, So, and the term hedge fund, folks, remember, you ain't missing out. We destroy hedge funds here at TGO. Our performance is disgusting compared to your average hedge fund. Why? Because it's the term hedge fund. But, they're supposed to be up about 6% a year. That's great performance for a hedge fund. Right. So it's an interesting question, Scurvy, and I'll cover this in our full throttle training in a couple weeks when we get airborne, one of our earlier sessions. So, yeah, Scott, the term Tredge, we made that up, or I made that up a year and a half ago, and it's if we hear that soon, maybe I should copyright that. So. Yes, this is recorded, folks. Everything is recorded here, and it is posted on the member page. So here's our urgent alert from last week. As soon as I say thank you, good night, try the VL in a couple minutes, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to upload these trades. Then I'm going to render the video. Here's last week's recording right here. It's on the bottom of the page. Usually takes about 30 minutes to post the replay. So it'll be on here shortly. And I'll tell you what, with that, current members, you guys are cleared off. Because I'm gonna let all the new folks, if they enjoyed today's session, how to take a 1 week test flight. So you guys, if you have any questions for me, jump in the ready room. Remember, this is our online forum where we interact and shoot the shit back and forth, post intelligence, and so the ready room's good stuff in here, guys. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So Paul, are you in here? Yeah, I got to. I saw that about. Paul, but guys, get in the ready room and interact, and then I'll see many of you on Monday for weekly options. If you guys aren't a TGO member, let's go ahead and give you a 7-day test flight. So we do 4 live trade briefs a week. Let me show you the schedule here. View slide sorter. Let me just kind of show you what our normal week looks like. It's pretty cool. We have a great time here. There it is. There. So here is kind of what we do. We do weekly options every Monday at 1. That's a very tactical trade brief. It's about 30 minutes. Sometimes we're in that trade an hour. Sometimes we're in that trade all the way out to that Friday. So weekly options every Monday at 1. Tuesday is the primary live trade brief. We do mainly front month trades, some longer dated trades as well. Yesterday, we did accelerated retirement at 1 p.m. Those are definitely longer term trades. And then today we kind of, every Thursday we do anything you got for me and kind of debrief what's going on and the existing position here. So is there a later time, Kevin? Let me take a look at my calendar to see if we can move our coaching because it's I'm getting kind of full there. But for folks who want to give us a 7-day test flight, I do it just to see what the heck's going to happen. Something's going to happen in the next 7 day, guys. Either we head higher and it's rally back on, or we're going to retest 2,600 and maybe lower. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Grab the popcorn. It's only $38, folks, for 7 days. You can give us a test flight here at Top Gun Options. Let me put this in the chat box. And it's a really easy URL to remember. Take a look at that. go.topgunoptions.com/go flight. Okay, so that's in the chat box right there. That's easy to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com/go flight. And it's only $38. I forget what it rebuilds at, 195, whatever it is. It's on the page, but you get access to everything we do here at TGO. There's other trials that are like $28 and $14, but you only get access to only 1 or 2 briefs. This one gives you access to everything. Okay, so this is the one that I strongly recommend you take. Okay, and then you'll get access to be able to go see the current trades we have on, our long-term bullish trades. And trust me, you're going to want to be a member here at TGO. This is what, our ninth, almost 10th year in business, man, and I feel like we get better every year, and love our squadron. We have a tight group of folks, and couldn't be happier. Okay, all right, guys, I got to run. I got some coaching sessions, and then I'm giving a speech at Jack Sea Cadet place again tonight. So I got to go make some PowerPoint slides for my speech tonight. So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. This is the offer. Go.topgunoptions.com/go flight. $38. Give us a test flight. Other than that, I'll see many of you in coaching sessions tomorrow, or in the weekly options brief on Monday. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.